Hello, everyone. So I'm going to start the weekend update and do it a little bit early here. We're about 90 minutes before the close, going into a long Memorial Day weekend. So first of all, thank you so much to all of the vets out there and people that first responders, et cetera, that all make things a little easier for the rest of us. We appreciate it. So let's take a look here at our equity curve of closed trades. We got a nice bump here on the trade that just closed about 15 minutes ago. That was our double calendar. So this is the equity curve of our trade since the first. And if we go in and kind of map this out, it's kind of a nice, consistent, roughly $100 a day if we were to average this out. And we still have some sizable trades open as well. So, and I think most people probably would agree that this is not heavy drama to do this. Now, their time will come when there will be some drama involved. There will be some big moves involved. But for the most part, when the markets are kind of ranging, this is perfect for the types of trades that we're doing. So if those of you that are part of the alert service, if this is going like you like it and you're on board with me, that you kind of like the slower process, having to check in, maybe only once or twice a day. If you miss a day, no big deal, etc. Make a comment down below if you would, please, and just give me a sign that, yeah, this is going as you expected. I like to see that sort of feedback. If there's anything that somebody wants to say about a different way of doing things or something, please respond there as well. So anyhow, again, things are moving along quite well here. Good equity curve. This is the bar chart that shows each one of those trades and the P&L of those trades. This is the corresponding list of those trades. Again, up a little over 13,000. That's our win-loss ratio. Average days in trade, 13 days. So again, we're not really, it's just a little bit slower paced. I mean, I used to day trade. I like this a lot better just because I can go out and get in my walk, my run, go do whatever I want to do throughout the day and just kind of check in as we get closer to the close on most days in most cases. So let's take a look at where we're at now in our market. So let's come to our graphs and we'll look at our existing open trades. Excuse me. So these are the trades we have left open. We got 5 of them, and a number of them are broken wing butterflies. And the market is moving up pretty considerably here today. So the question was posed in the chat, should we start raising right wings on a couple of these trades? And my answer at the time right now, until next week, is still a no. So that's my personal opinion and how I'm going to trade these. So why is it a no? Well, let's take a look at a chart. So if we take a look at a chart here, we can see that today, while the market is up today, we're not above yesterday's high. We're not really above the high of a number of days ago. So we're kind of banging our head on this same ceiling at around 4,200. Doesn't mean we can't punch through it, but even if we do punch through this in the last hour of the day, all your professional traders are largely gone for the day at that point. So this is going to be retail investors that are pushing this up. And I tend to trust the moves of retail investors a little less than the big professional money. So even if this did poke above, I'm not taking that as a breakout signal yet. Now, the other reason I'm looking at this is, of course, we're still haggling back and forth. Our politicians in their infinite wisdom are still haggling back and forth on this whole debt ceiling issue. And let's just say that gets resolved. Maybe there will be a pop-up. Personally, I think it's already baked in here. And if it is a pop-up, I think it's going to be a pop-up and probably an immediate drop back. But regardless, if it pops up, I don't probably see it popping above 4,300. There seems to be resistance there again. So maybe you could pop to 4,300. But last time we failed and it's been a long time ago. I want to say it was 80s. We failed to negotiate a debt ceiling, and we went into government shutdown for a period of time. The market dropped about 17% then. In a matter of a couple weeks. So let's just look at a 10% drop. If we drop 10%, that's over 400 points. So we could be down here at 3,800 in a week or two. That is the reason that I'm reluctant to roll wings up, because if we do roll wings up, without adjusting the downside. I mean, we could potentially adjust the downsides too, but if we just roll wings up and we don't do anything with the downside here, we're opening up downside risk. If the market did, in fact, drop down to 3,800 rapidly, that can create a lot of pain in these, especially if we try to raise this right wing. So if and when I go to raise right wings, I'm going to start with one actually that expires a little bit earlier as well. So I would lean toward doing something probably more on this June 9th one. So if we get into next week, if we get some agreement in the debt ceiling, and our market, rips up a little bit or stays the same or rips up and pulls back about where it is right now, which is kind of my expectation. At that point, once that news has broken, then I will consider going ahead and rolling up these wings. Until then, I'm just leery of opening up much downside risk, given the possibility of a significant downside move if they don't achieve the objective. So for right now, yes, I'm looking at the possibility of maybe taking some small losses to the upside or not getting decent gains out of these by rolling those upside wings. So I know that's kind of the position I'm taking, and I just have to accept that. Here on our rut, nothing more really to do in this trade. I do have an order out there to close this. Right now it's trading at like 70 cents, something like that. I've got an order to close this at $11. And the only way that's going to happen is if we happen to get some sort of sizable pullback right on expiration day of 5/31. But I want that order setting out there just in case that miracle condition happens to come into play. Note that the debt ceiling is supposed to be resolved by June 1st. So by the end of the day, 5/31, if this is not resolved, there could certainly be a big pullback. If we get that big pullback, let me just march this out here to 5/31. Well, 5/31, of course, by the end of the day, it's going to take this shape. Let me go to the day before. We're going to be looking at something like this. And it's not out of the question that this thing could bring $1,000 more than it is here today on that day under those specific circumstances. Again, I am not expecting that. This is a little bit of a lottery ticket, but it's a lottery ticket I don't have to pay for, so I'm going to take it. So I think that is largely it at this point. Let's just take a look at community here, get my face out of the way, and you can see this one. This is our SPX calendar. We did just close that, so I will be moving this down to the closed trades here shortly. And those of you in the community, you probably noticed that finally someone at Kajabi gave me this suggestion of putting at everyone in front of my posts. That does seem, based on everything I've seen so far from people, that does seem to activate all the alerts if you have them turned on. So it's pinging your web browser, it is going out through the Kajabi community app, and email is getting sent. So you do have to have the settings on for all of those, but if your settings are on, everybody that I've heard from seems to be getting all of those notifications now. So that is a huge plus, and something that's been kind of grating at me up to this point. So hopefully that will continue to work that way, and at some point they'll allow me to drop the at everyone, and it will just work the way it's supposed to work. So I think that's it. If anyone has any thoughts or questions, again, feel free to put them in the comments here below in YouTube. And again, those of you in the alert service, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Hopefully they're good thoughts. And Also, other people watch this YouTube channel as well. So people that are debating about, is this something I should do or not? So if you've got any thoughts or advice for someone else as to whether or not this has been beneficial for you and your options trading learning curve, go ahead and make a note to that effect too. Thank you so much. Everyone have a great Memorial Day weekend, and that will wrap up the weekend update here for Memorial Day weekend 2023. Take care.